This video is going to concern a infamous criminal. I'm going to refer to it that way. This is the way you should think about a person who attempts to harm anyone, especially someone they've never met, where there is no real motive that could be personal or act of passion. And in this case, oddly enough, it does not appear to be easily connected with a political motive. Yes, there are YouTube videos out there, AI generated and or people play acting, trying to drive you over the edge, showing a person uploading a video, identifying themselves, and saying certain things, and never giving a link to where they got the video from. Yes, those were most likely fake, or fuck it, they're faked. Someone can cosplay as anybody if they can get enough pictures and make the mistake of not understanding that having the person trying to cosplay, having an entire upper jaw that's the wrong size for your face, you can't just stick your jaw out and make it work. Your teeth get in the way. I'm missing some teeth and I can't overlap my jaw, called gurning, in order to impersonate the infamous Mr. Crooks. He went to a shooting range where he was a member to practice firing the day before the incident. He placed a remote radio frequency controlled explosive in his car's trunk. He kept the remote controlled detonator on him that he had put together. Then on the morning of the attack, he purchased 50 rounds of ammunition, a ladder, and then went to the location and tried to permanently injure somebody. We'll call it that. And literally at that distance, an error of a standard-sized group from a gun that wasn't properly maintained, or just not buying cheap, just stop buying cheap ammo if you want to be accurate. We're lucky, he probably bought cheap Walmart-grade ammo. Okay. After this, investigators hacked into his phone, searched his bedroom, the computer, went through his search history, interviewed his families and friends, and then searched them. They're not talking about that, but you know damn good and well they did. What they found is he was an above-average school student, mostly on math. He had a quiet demeanor. He was often bullied for the way he presented himself. He did not appear to have any friends at the time of the incident. Any political leanings. He wore camouflage hunting outfits at school. He played chess and video games and was learning how to program computers, which is what you say about everybody in high school because they take classes, but people don't learn to program computers. They learn to run software that builds computer programs, which is something any of you could learn. It's actually made as easy as possible because, public disclosure, no one wants to write binary anymore. I know how to do it, and I won't teach someone to do it because there's just no goddamn reason to do that. Unless you're writing an operating system, which I might actually need to do every 5 years to write an app that has to run on bare metal hardware. I'll just write an operating system that just does that. It's a living hell, takes a month, don't do it. Go learn how to write programs using a software developer kit. Let's move on. The school district does not have a record of him trying out for the school's rifle team. Before he turned 18, he contributed to a project that's considered left-leaning. After he turned 18, he registered to vote Republican. His family members are either Libertarian or Republican. He's a youth that could be rebellious. My statement. I don't care how he registered. I registered as Republican as well because I wanted to vote in the primary to make sure that the Republicans didn't pick a bad candidate. I've done that. And I'm in a state where you don't have to vote a straight ticket, okay? We do not know what political leanings he had because, oddly enough, he didn't have enough friends to talk to about it. Yes, you will find 2 interviews out of the hundreds of people who might have come across him that said he expressed some political view at one time in the entire time he was in his high school or grade school years. Out of hundreds who have nothing to say because he never said anything about it because he wasn't particularly vocal about anything. They couldn't find any motive for why he did any of this. They also found nothing on his home computer, cell phone, or anything else that indicated he had ever looked up the subject of making a remote-controlled explosive. He had earned a community college associate's degree in engineering science. They're not really being specific on what his major and minor is. He had been accepted just 60 days before this to 2 different colleges to be able to go to them. They only found typical online activities, including an interest in computer coding and gaming. He had planned his life ahead. Now, what do we have on this at this point? What can we take from this? We're at the 6-minute mark. Let's get to this. Absolutely nothing. There's an annoying trope in movies where people monologue and semaphore or give a tell as to what they're going to do. Because subconsciously we assume the bad guy wants to be stopped or wants to cause a challenge. This is a trope in movies, books, whatever. That's not how people do things. The last line, he was accepted to a university and he had some sort of engineering degree, means that he didn't need to go look up stuff on the internet. If you're not aware of it, guerrilla tactics for building a radio transmitter and a receiver consists of you buying a transmitter and receiver and just buying them from a hobby store with cash. There's no traceability. You buy it, wait a year before you're going to use it on something. I'm not doing this as an instruction manual. I'm telling you what he probably did. Probably bought it for some other purpose. A single transmitter that uses, if you're not aware of it, a security code where only a certain pattern of code would actually tell this to turn on or off a light-emitting diode is all that's needed. This is a very easy thing to find in the form of remote control gadgets for opening and closing doors or making a toy work. This is the improvised method that's used because it's literally easiest. It's very easy to get one that has such a function set like having an encryption code. You would set 20 dip switches to a certain pattern, just randomize them, and then match them on the other one. It'll only accept a signal on a certain frequency of a certain duration with that exact pattern of ones and zeros. As long as you don't hit the transmit button more than once to test to see if it works, the likelihood of somebody being able to send the same signal or block it is literally zero. He didn't have to go look that up on the net. Next, all they found were the conventional things he would look up. Yes, because you tell your computer to selectively erase anything interesting by using a browser that never saves it to the hard drive. I run my computer in such a way, it's called flash paper mode. If you're not aware of bookies and such like, go look up what flash paper is. Basically, I set up my computer to leave nothing behind, not because I'm trying to hide anything, but because I grew up during the era of Windows 95 and Internet Explorer and learned to never trust a computer with any information. The reason I run ad block on the internet is not to screw over YouTube and make them angry so that they can deliberately break their website to where nothing loads and plays. The reason I use this mode is so that my hard drive doesn't get worn out, so that there isn't a bunch of garbage on the computer to be picked up and used to figure out things. I did a test yesterday. How long do I have to search on the internet, blocking everything before it figures out which city I'm in? 3 hours. And if I run a routine I wrote called Janitor, it's a meta program that runs Crap Cleaner and 15 other things. It flushes everything that I could find easily in the entire computer that the operating system will happily give up to a web browser because everybody's in on it apparently, so that some AI routine can try to sell me a container of solder paste and soldering iron tip cleaner on Amazon specifically through an AI bot. And that test took 2 minutes because Amazon's based on a bot system. That's what a search engine is. It's an AI bot. Now, why am I bringing that up? If he never used his computer to log into anything and erased it, told it not to share any information, and opted out of everything, it would still track something, but it would make it bizarrely difficult to do so. All he'd have to do to make it to where it couldn't do it anymore is pull out the network card, put in a new network card, set it up, and erase the operating system and reload it. Anybody in college has learned to get a thumb drive and load up a perfect image of their hard drive that's bootable. You start it up, you tell it to blank the drive, write the image to the drive, and then when it starts up, it erases all of the empty space on the drive without ever setting up, saving anything. It doesn't even go on the net. And then when you plug in your network card, it just sets it up, and then you put on plausible deniability or rubber hose security of it having a copy of your very boring looking up stuff on college data. And then you spend the next 2 weeks looking up stuff very fervently on all the subjects you want people to see you looking up. The computer looks completely legit. And every college student knows how to do this. Because every high school and grade school student knows how to do this. Because when they get banned from a server while they're playing Call of Duty, they erase their computers, completely reformat it, load up a new network card, and sell the old network card on eBay, and there it is. And you can sell on eBay without being traceable by using a gift card instead of a credit card and using a P.O. box. And in many states, you don't have to be over 18 to do that, and he was over 18. Literally nothing they're going to find would have been in his room. It would have been in his head or on a piece of paper. And thanks to a proper shot by a particular Secret Service worker, that data has been permanently defragmented. Now, immediately screaming some political, unless the guy has an extremely strong political opinion he was willing to represent publicly, we don't have a political motive. That's it. I'm highly antagonistic towards a very small subculture that's overruling the majority of Republicans. I'm also against another small subculture that's trying to overrule by yelling loudly in the liberal side. My political leanings are against extremism because it doesn't do any goddamn good. What I have done with this asshole did? No. We can all dream about getting rid of somebody we don't want to have there, but we all know the best punishment for somebody you don't like is making them lose fair and square and watching them scream about it. If you're not aware of it, all of us, quote-unquote, libtards, just gushed with happiness while Trump screamed, rigged, because that's the sound of a loser. He did it when he won. See, that's the tell that's a problem. That's your maniacal laughter in the distance while someone monologues how they're going to try to rule the planet. This guy is literally dead-ass the gray man. Crooks was a gray man, or literally had no motives at all and just decided to do something to become famous. Which, if you're not aware of it, in today's society, go look at TikTok for 5 minutes, is the most likely outcome. The guy was ignored by everybody in his high school. He had no friends. Nobody knew his name. Now, most of you know his entire fucking name, all 3 parts. Do you understand the motive now? We don't know what drove Paddock to do what he did. We don't know what a lot of these people did. Because they deliberately erased stuff so that it would make it a pain in the ass for the investigators. We're in the modern era where you can literally download a thumb drive worth of data that images your drive over as an idealized, totally innocent one with all sorts of search information in there to make you look boring, that you can just nuke and repave, and it's 15 fucking minutes to do it. 15-minute nuke and repave. That was the standard in the old days and still is. Just make sure your computer runs 3 gigahertz or maybe 2.5. And even then, he could have just read everything from books and learned it. The books are available, and you can buy them with cash, and there's no traceability. Or just use a gift card and no traceability. Odds are he didn't have any motive, and this was literally him just trying to be famous. Sorry. Conspiracy theorists need to just go sit down and shut up. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. We'll all need it.